welcome back to my life with orchids, my life with plants. My name's Newman, and today we're going to talk about preparing your orchids for winter if they are cold sensitive. So I've had a massive cleanup. I've tried to arrange everything better this time around. Just like everybody else, we have to take out our supplies and check them and put them all back, so that's all been done. And over here we have this empty box. This is one of the do-it-yourself mini greenhouses that we get all over the world now. You can see the dimensions of that. It's 92 centimeters high, 69 centimeters width, 49 centimeters is the inside measurements, and so it's about 5 kilos per shelf. You can see that the one of the levels here is 2 pieces, so you can take one off if you have taller plants. So that's priced at about $25, which is super reasonable. And it has that big circle here, and it says on here it's protect your plants against frost. But however, I do have some outside, and I don't wrap them for frost anymore. I just moved the greenhouse out of the range of frost. Yes, there's a mess there. I got to clean that up too. So here it is here. So I'm just going to show you this because it might help you with some ideas about what you can do with a limited amount of space and to utilize it the most that you can. So I could have just used this as is, but I have this sunny window, so if I had have put it in the corner here, I would have used my grow lights, but I'm just going to use this natural sunlight. We do have a lot during the winter. For those of you that don't, you would have to use grow lights, and since it's just over the winter, you don't have to have the ultimate best. You just need enough to keep the plants happy, and a lot of these orchids will be fine. They will just slow down their growth. I'm not going to put the plastic cover on because it's indoors, and generally they don't mind a drier winter. A lot of them come from seasonal climates, as you know. Okay, so we're just going to get on with this. So what I've done is I put trays in the bottom. The measurements are hard to find exactly what you need, but I have 4 trays down here, and they're each priced at $1 from the dollar shop. That's to catch water. Also, if I want to water my plants and I can't bring them to the sink, I can just lay them in these trays, right? Fill them with water, soak them, whatever, and then when they're finished and they hang up, they will drip into this tray. That's the idea. And once they're finished dripping, I just take the trays out and I just rinse them and wash them out, clean them again. So I got to have these trays in the bottom. In the center here, we have a rolled up plastic, and this plastic comes in coils like this. It is for cutting into pieces to line the bottom of pots so that your medium doesn't fall out the bottom. But I've used that to make this tube. And this tube will be useful for hanging much smaller orchids especially bulbophyllums that I have outside. I can easily just hang them down here in the center. And that idea I got from Brian, from Brian's Orchids. So if you want to check him out, he's got some beautiful orchids that he grows indoors in cabinets. And they are pretty magnificent actually. So check him out. These racks here are kitchen racks that are used for hanging utensils. Each one of these is priced at about $2. We have a small one here, and all I do is attach them with twist ties. So not zip locks, but twist ties, because if I want to remove them, I can just twist them off. So we got one here. This is so I can hang more orchids, and I can hang more from here, and I got one on the back. So this is my setup, and we're going to see how many orchids I can get into this small space. So we'll get back to you on that one. Hi, welcome back to My Life with Plants. I'm Newman. So here it is with all the orchids in it. They all fit in there pretty snug. One couldn't, which is this rather overgrown Cattleya, mini Cattleya. But while we're here, we'll have a look at this again. This is looking rather spectacular today. This Cattleya Beringiana. So these blooms are really taking on some color. And I did make a mistake with my orchid in flower. The other day I did say that Beringiana comes from Brazil. That's a mistake. They come from Belize and Honduras. The most northerly found Cattleya species by foliate. These extremely long canes. They do put up with a lot of heat. They are lithophytic, rapiculous, growing on or amongst rocks. That part is true. So this is a very lovely display of flowers. On the other hand, if we were to look over here, we didn't get any flowers on these two big Cattleyas. One of them is Laleo Cattleya Blue Heaven. It did put out some new canes. This is the newest one, but they don't have any sheaths except for this. Those have one. I don't think it has anything inside it for some reason. This Jumbo Cattleya, which you see here, did put out this whole new, with this little bit of a black leaf tip. Did put out this whole bulb or cane. It's huge. And with it we have the sheath that has nothing inside for some reason. However, it does have a new growth coming along there, and it's all healthy and good. This one stayed out maybe a little bit too long in that cold rain we had. We had a few days of pretty cold rain, but that will not affect it too much. Pretty tough plant. But disappointing because it didn't get a flower. This will be the second year I've had this. It's time to change its location. So next summer I'm going to change it. You can see that it's got plenty of growth down there. Just keeps growing and growing. Those bulbs, canes. Okay, this bulbophyllum Asiachilum has come back to life. Ever since I put it in here, took it out of the pot, I saved it. And now it is recovered and growing really well again. This is Epidendrum porpax, which I mounted and I saved it because the main plant died. It was also potted and it did not like the heat that we had. This is Denema, and I've mounted some of that. Holly bourbon, and this is the main plant up here, which grew and then it stopped during the summer when we had that extreme hell of a summer. So I got her hell, it was that hot. Didn't like it. However, next to it, Bifinaria did like it, and it continued growing its new growth, which is this right here, without any problems. So that's looking a little too corrugated. I need a bit more water, maybe. But it is from a very, very dry location, found amongst rocks with Lelias, central Brazil. This is Cattleya Lindleyi, which is looking much better these days. It's a matter of not overwatering that. Could do better on a mount. And something that's doing better on a mount is Leptotes bicolor, because this thing was suffering big time during the summer. And I took it all off and I mounted it all. So it's put out new growth here, there. You can see a new one coming up there, plus the new growth that it had put out previously. So it's much happier, and I hang it under the trees, so that saved its life. This one I've shown many times. It's Epicatlia Kyoguchi Happy Field, and Happy Field is being happy because it's put out this nice new growth here. It aborted one during the hellish August-September weather. It was far too hot for it and it aborted its growth. Down here is one of the only ones I got left in a pot. There it is. RTH Young Men Gold. And it did flower last year winter, or late winter. It's got 2 new canes coming away on it, so everything is good. Next to it is name the names, come and they go. Renee something or other put out this whole new cane all the way up, nice growth. Didn't mind the heat one bit. It's pretty adapted to extreme heat. So you can see all this nice new growth on that cane. And the roots are all good, and it's still in its pot. So that's a bit. Renee Marquis, or something like that. That one is done fine. Still have to hang up some on the other side of this structure. That's so far been pretty good. This is Vanda. It's a mini Vanda. It's a cross between Falcata and something else. Blue Snary. It showed its dislike of the cold temperature that we had not long ago. And it wasn't that cold. It's about got down to about 13 or 14 degrees. We had a lot of rain. The rain was pretty cold. And this is in a sheltered area, but it didn't like it, so it showed it right there. Let's see. Ugh. Without having to bring this big thing out again. This is Calyaricala sibling. Starting to put out some roots. It's pretty shriveled. I will give it another watering to plump those bulbs up. It's got a good root system and everything. Everything's fine with it. You could say it took a bit of a beating from the summer, as everything else did, except for Cattleyas, these big jumbo things. This is I was gifted this Vanda Lion Star. It says ducks on it. You don't have to search for that part. Falcata X Sagaric Gold. It has beautiful orange flowers, or goldy orange, and this one you can see it's got some damage, and you will see me receiving this on a video that I didn't do too long ago. The orchid lady brought me along to her friend's house, who's an orchid enthusiast, and she has orchids dripping out of the trees on her little section. You must check that out. I'm going to go back there in spring, which is about April, to check out all the nobilies in flower. She's got some massive nobilies, and it has started to put out new growth. You can see it coming off, and the roots look good, and it's in a bread basket. It's all rooted and matted in there with its roots. That bag there has slow release fertilizer in it. So that's the one that she gifted to me, and I'm happy about. Happy to receive that. You can just have a glimpse in the back there of two brassavolas. This one being little stars, and that one is Nodosa, and they did fine. They've been mounted on. They used to be in pots, so they have a lot of growing to do to really cling on to that mount. This one right there is called Green Light, and it's just a little thing, and it does branch a lot from the bottom to make clumps. So these are my orchids. I don't have very many. The rest of them are the nobly types, which are still outdoors, and they will stay there for the winter. So it's just a matter of me shuffling stuff around by using my wire here, bonsai wire. It's easy, malleable. You can bend it and twist it. This is my pour that I took out of the tree today, Restreepia elegans. And Restreepia elegans, I'm going to have to pull that out, and I'm going to mount it. Didn't do too well, although this is extremely hot zone. This one here is a kind of a hippie cattleya. It has nice roots coming along. Had 2 new canes. Has nice flowers, but they're not fragrant. That one showed its stress. Its dislike for the summer. That's why I had to snip this leaf off. It had a huge burn on it. I just don't want it to spread bacteria. And this is the newest cane. So that is the update so far on what I have. And the rest of the stuff was done on a video where I got one of these, kind of like you could call them bag babies, but they're cuttings. And in the basket there is a netted pumice. So it's pretty bare, right? If you look in there, so it's got pumice. And this one is mounted onto this log piece of wood. Nice brass screw in there. Should do really well. Don't let shriveled canes scare you one bit. And the cattleyas, as long as they're mounted, they will show their ability for survival, that's for sure, by putting out roots. Being dry doesn't hurt them. Okay, and this one is my marvelous big one that I just showed you before, which keeps putting out new growth. You'll be able to see in there. Yep, you can see there, right? It just keeps putting out new growth. Hasn't flowered. Although it did get a lot of new canes. And this one just flowers when it wants. It's got no particular flowering time, so it could be late winter, could be late summer. I was expecting it to put out quite a lot of flowers because it's been growing so abundantly, prolifically this year, putting out a lot of growth. So who knows why it didn't flower. It's not underfed. If it was, why would it put out such huge growth? The feeders in my water when I do water them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you found this interesting. And this is how I'm going to keep my orchids for over winter. We'll do some more updates to let you know how they're doing and there will be some new growth, some new root growth. They seem to do that a lot, especially maxillaria down there. I forgot to show you. Who said maxillaria tenuifolia grows in the summer? It doesn't for me. It puts all its new growth out during the winter time. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye bye.